Hello. So I feel like I need a little timer so I can keep track of the time. It's almost at 6. Welcome. Hey, Sherry. Hello, Kimberly. You guys, this is pretty exciting. My first live on Instagram, and I admit I'm excited. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in, for being a part of the virtual audience. I appreciate it. Hello, Vanessa. Well, while people are coming in, I just wanted to share one. Thank you for joining me, you guys. I'm really excited about tonight. I've got some good information that I want to share with all of you, and I think it's going to be really good. I do. If you have a friend, or if you know someone who you think, hey girl, if you know someone who you think would benefit from this live, we're going to be talking about apologies. If you think you know someone who will benefit from it, please feel free to share. Let them know. Hello, Hickses. Hello, Vanessa. Super excited. Let them know that I'm here and that we are ready to chit chat. So, I'm so excited. It's only 6:01, so I feel like I should, wait a little bit, but I've got some really, really good stuff to share with you guys. Hey, Brittany. Nice to see you on. Thank you for joining. I have the little waves and everything. All right, you guys. So I'm going to get started a little bit. So, most of you are familiar with who I am. You know my name. I'm Alice, and I am passionate about love. I'm passionate about successful marriages. I'm passionate about successful relationships. So whatever I can do, I try to do that. Hey guys. All right, so whatever I can do to help people in their relationships, that's what I want to do. So tonight is my first time going live, and I really feel like I have some good information to share. And so I'm excited. I gotta admit, I'm excited. So I'm gonna do a little introduction just in case you don't know a lot about me. My name's Alice. I've been married for almost 11 years. August 11, ooh, you guys, is that bad? August 13 will be 11 years. There we go. We were married. No, August 11th. August 11th. Dang, my mom's on here. Mom, when did we get married? This August, it'll be 11 years. Yo, we've got 2 kids, 2 cute boys, a 6-year-old and a 3-year. Thank you, Erica, the 13th. Did I say it? Did I say 13th or the 11th? I don't know. What up, Shani? So, yeah, we've got 2 kids. This coming year will be 11 years, and I'm happy to say that it's been fun. We've grown, it's been fun, we've learned, and it's been fun. So all of that, I would not change anything. And that's the story that I want for all of you. What up, Dr. Sneeka? We got a doctor in the house, y'all. Hey, girl. So I am a communications professor. I teach verbal communications at Seminole State. I am a speaker. I'm passionate about communication, you guys. I'm passionate about communication in relationships, whether you're married, if you have a friend, if you're engaged, if it's a parent-child. I'm passionate about communication. So as I learn in the classroom from my studies, I like to incorporate that in relationships. I'm all about quality relationships. And most of you are familiar with Stay Connected. Stay connected. You can always visit my website, which is alwaysstayconnected.org. That is simply a place, a safe place for you to go to get creative ideas on how to deepen intimacy through quality communication and quality time. So that's what I'm about. That's what I love. Most of you are aware, and even if not, that I created the Love Journal, and I love that. I'll talk more about that later. So that's a little bit about me. But we're going to go ahead and dive into the topic that I have for you all today, because I promise that tonight we're unlocking secrets. Me going live is all about unlocking secrets to healthy relationships. We're going to build together. We're going to grow together, and I'm excited. So let's go ahead and get started. I brought a prop with me. I've got a prop right here that's waiting, because this is what's been going on. And I'm diving in, so don't think that this story is just some random story. We're going in. So, on Mondays, what I have decided to do is clean. Mondays are my cleaning days. Mondays are dedicated to cleaning my house and cooking. Why, you may ask? Because I'm not a clean person by nature. And I guess I would say I'm messy. I leave stuff around. My husband is the clean freak. Some of you may be familiar with that. Like, let me know if you are the messy person. Am I alone? Are you the messy person, or are you the clean person? Which one are you? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Because I'm the messy person. So I am growing and evolving, and I want to help reduce my husband's anxiety. Therefore, I clean. Thank you, Erica. All right, so I'm starting to clean more. So the other day I was cleaning and I was doing dishes, which that's the Lord, because I don't like doing dishes. My mom is in here. She knows I don't like doing dishes. Sherry, you're lucky that you're the clean person, because I'm working on it. I'm growing and evolving, okay? You are. I'm growing and evolving. Audrey, you are the clean person. So, oh, what up? We got Portia in the house. Hey, girl. So, I was doing dishes, all right? This is me showing love. Ladarius, one of his love languages is acts of service. Exactly. Look at that face. Acts of service. I'm quality time all the way. And maybe some touch up in there. So, I'm doing my acts of service. I decide to do the dishes, okay? And look what happens. Nothing comes out. I'm trying to pour soap and nothing comes up. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Mel. Good to see y'all. Nothing comes out while I'm trying to do dishes. So I'm trying to get my water simplified and all warm and sudsy, and no soap's coming out. And so I look to see what's going on. And as you can see, it's clogged. Is that just me? Any of you guys familiar with this? Like when your soap doesn't work? This happens with lotion too. Lotion, maybe face wash, anything that has a nozzle. All right? Yeah, anything that has a nozzle, it's clogged. And in that moment, I really started thinking, I know, while I'm doing dishes, I was like, this is similar to relationships. How, you might ask? Because with this, I use it and use it and use it again, and never once do I think to clean it. Never once did I think, oh, maybe I need to show it a little more attention. Maybe I should push this hard thing off, no, run it under some warm water. No, never do I think that. I just continue to use it. I use it over and over. I don't clean it because it doesn't stop working. It's always giving me what I need. It's always giving me what I'm requesting. And I didn't pay any attention to my lack of care until it stopped working. Come on, y'all. Tell me if that's not relationships. Of course, we don't want to be that person, but sometimes we are constantly using, but not taking care. Does that make sense? We're not caring for what we're using. So I'm going to break it down a little bit more to make sure we're all on the same page. The bottle, let's say, is your spouse. The soap that stopped flowing, let's say that's the love your spouse gives you. Let's say that's the respect, that's the support, that's all the things that you receive in that relationship. And even if you're engaged or if you're just in friendships, maybe you're not in a relationship, let's just think about those friendships that you have. How what you need from the friend stops flowing. And perhaps it stops flowing because we're not taking care of it. And let's switch it a little bit. Maybe this isn't your spouse. Maybe it's you. Maybe I realize that I'm not flowing like I was. Maybe I realize that I'm not giving out love like I used to. Maybe I realize that it's like really a struggle to love, to respect, to show care and concern. Maybe I'm the person where it's not flowing. It's a problem. For some of us, we are believers in the ancient text known as the Bible. And for some of us here, maybe we're not really believers in the Bible. But the Bible has some really good stuff in there. And it's an ancient text that's been around. And it's been used in many situations. And there's a scripture that I really like that talks about guarding your heart, because from it flows life. It's our stream, our life flows from our heart. And so for some of us, or even our spouses or our friends, our heart has been damaged, or our heart has been used, maybe mistreated, to the point where it's not flowing. It's not able to flow. Or maybe it flows slowly. Or maybe it's now hesitant. It wasn't always hesitant, but maybe now it's hesitant to flow. Just like this soap bottle, it's clogged. So what do we need to do so that things start to flow? So that it's a little bit easier, so it's not so complicated. Rather, what can we do to help our spouse so they can flow? Or what can we do to help our heart unleash whatever it is that God is trying to pull out? And one of those things is apologize. Not sure if you heard me. I'm going to say it again. Apologize. Apologies. Will an apology solve all of your problems? No way. It won't. But will an apology assist? Yes. Will an apology help begin the process of healing, of flowing? Yes, for sure. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how we can get all of this yucky stuff off. What's the first step to removing the clog so that we can start to pour, so that we can start to give love the way that we know we should? And so I've got my notes here on the table, you guys. I haven't really been taking a look at them. But what I want us to think about is apologizing. The example that I thought of is I have two boys. So my 6-year-old, I might be like, hey, go apologize to your brother. And do you know what he says sometimes? Why? And usually my answer is something like, because what you did was rude. Because you should be kind. That's why you should apologize. And all of those things are true. But in our relationships, apologies can really provide healing. So tonight, I think I'm going to focus on why we should apologize. And then on another live, I think I'm going to talk about how we can apologize. And in order to get even more information on apologies, you can look up Harriet Lerner. I believe the book is called Why Apologize? Or you can even look up a podcast between Brene Brown and Harriet Lerner. It's amazing. So that's where I'm getting a lot of this information from. With apologies, let's talk about why you should apologize. But before we get there, let's talk about how it's not always easy. Am I right? Is it just me? Because maybe sometimes. I don't necessarily consider myself to be one who has trouble apologizing. But in certain situations, it's not easy. But what I'm encouraging us to think about is how even though it's not easy, the results far outweigh what we have to push through to do it. And the reason why people say, not people, but researchers, psychologists, etc., they talk about the importance of an apology is because it heals the disconnection. When something happens that requires an apology, the apology helps begin the healing process. And if we are married, if we are going to be married, if we're in, really good friendships, etc., we want to heal the disconnect. Because if we don't heal the disconnect, guess what? All of a sudden we get clogged. Just like the example I gave earlier. If we don't heal the disconnect, if we don't start going through the process, we're going to realize that what we're trying to get from our spouse, we're not getting anymore. Why? Because they've been hurt. They start to think, oh, this relationship thing isn't a safe place. So the apology begins the process. So a few things. The apology helps heal the disconnection. It validates the hurt party. You guys, when I learned this, I thought it was so good. Just thinking about it in times can make me emotional because some of the examples that they provided were things like this. Often when we're younger, let's say when we're children, our emotions are not validated. And sometimes I'm guilty as a parent. Oh, that doesn't hurt. You're okay. You're okay. Stop that. Oh, come on. We invalidate how our children are feeling sometimes, whether we do it intentionally or not. And when we are young, we have that happen to us. Can anyone agree with me that, that's happened to me a few times where someone told me it's not that serious. That didn't hurt that much. People invalidate your emotions. So once we're an adult, we realize we don't have to take that. Sort of like Steve Urkel, I'm not going to take this. I'm going home. Bad Steve Urkel impression, but you guys get what I'm saying. So we realize as adults, we don't have to take that. So if our spouse begins to invalidate our emotions, that's not a good thing. So an apology does the opposite. An apology validates your spouse's emotions. An apology lets them know, hey, I understand that I hurt you. And I apologize. I understand that what I did was not kind and it caused you pain, and I apologize for that. I apologize for what I said. I apologize for how I said it. We begin to validate their emotions. We validate that, yes, you have a right to feel that way. Yes, you are feeling pain. So that's something. I'm going to go ahead and dive into a little bit of the how, just because it connects with this, so you guys follow me. When you apologize, there should not be a but. Babe, I'm good for this. I admit it. Babe, I apologize for what I did, but it's because I was so stressed. That day was so long. I was so stressed out, and that's why. What I am learning about apologies is there should not be a but. But listen to me. Save your explanation for another time. Explanations are amazing because it helps others understand you, right? And in a marriage, we want to be understood. So an explanation is amazing, but let's save it for another time. Let's not put it in the apology. Let's save that for a different conversation. When our spouse is hurting, in that moment, what they want is their emotions to be validated. Babe, I am sorry. I should not have done that. Leave it at that. No buts, but it was because when you said that, it triggered something in me, all that stuff. No. Let's just keep that apology as is. No buts. Save the explanations for another time. All right? So what we're learning is that we're going to validate the emotions of those that we love, and we're not going to put a but in the apology. An explanation can be provided later. Okay? Good. So we're validating the hurt party. And another thing that apologies do is, Audrey, I see that. I got you, bro. I got you, Juan. I got you, man. Another thing that apologies do, it provides emotional safety. This is very big. And all of these reasons tie along with one another. They're all interwoven. But emotional safety is so important in a relationship. And I know you guys agree with me. Because emotional safety, let me define it first. That means I am comfortable. Oh man, you guys, this is so good. I love talking relationships. Emotional safety means I am comfortable being vulnerable with you. I'm going to let that sit. Emotional safety means I am comfortable being vulnerable with you. So let's think about it. Moment of reflection. You don't have to put an answer in the chat. Is your spouse, is your fiance, are your friends vulnerable with you? Are they vulnerable with you? Do they feel that you are a safe space? And how you can judge that is how vulnerable are they? That's really good. How vulnerable are they? Because we all know there are layers. And you can even analyze for yourself, how vulnerable am I with them? Are they a safe space? If you're married and the answer is no, they're not a safe space, then that means there are some things that you guys need to work out. Maybe, like we're talking about, some apologies need to be made to help create that safe space, because an apology is going to help promote emotional safety. It lets the other person know, it lets the hurt party know, this is a safe place. Imagine that, you guys. Your spouse validates your emotions and you can be vulnerable with them because it's safe. Let's dive in just a little bit more. How do we create a safe space for our spouse, for those that we love? Even if you're not married, maybe for your best friend, how do you create a safe space where they can be vulnerable? There are many things, but one of the things is body language. Let's back up. The overall answer to that is your response. Your response to information creates a safe space. If somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, Alice, I just wanted to tell you that, fill in the blank with whatever it is. My response lets them know if they're going to come tell me something again. You can think about that with kids. How do I respond? That, however I respond, predicts if they're coming back to me or not. That's the same thing in a marriage. And it hurts to say that sometimes we respond wrong. You guys, we counsel couples all the time. And sometimes we respond wrong. And I don't want to get emotional about this, but it's real. Because if we do not have a safe space, then healing can't take place. Healing cannot take place if it's not safe. And if healing can't take place in your relationship, that means there's not going to be any progress. If we think about a marriage and there's no progress in the marriage, there's not increased vulnerability, there isn't a deepening of intimacy, then more than likely you're going to hear eventually, oh, we decided to separate. You know, eventually we're going to hear irreconcilable differences. Eventually we're going to hear, oh, that we're no longer together because it wasn't emotionally safe. So a few things to think about. I should be writing these down. Maybe you guys are writing these down because I really want you to think about these. How do you respond when those you love, how do you respond when those you love tell you something? Maybe you don't like it, but they're being vulnerable with you. How's your response? That's one thing. Another thing is, are you vulnerable with those you love? And that can dive into a whole bunch of things because sometimes we're not vulnerable because it's not a safe space. Sometimes we're not vulnerable because of past hurts and things we've been through. So that's something you can think through. Why am I not vulnerable? All right. So reasons to apologize. 1 is to validate the hurt party. 2 is to create emotional safety. And we create emotional safety by our response, by responding correctly. That's how we create our emotional safety for those we love. And then apologies promote growth. And I think we sort of talked about that. All of these things together help deepen intimacy. And when we deepen intimacy, it's a cycle. When I share information with someone I love, they feel more intimate with me. They feel a deeper connection with me, which then often causes them to share something intimate with me, which then makes us feel more intimate with one another. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle that we want in our relationships. We want to be vulnerable. We want to become more intimate. And as a result of an apology, apologies open the door for that intimacy. Apologies open the door for deeper conversations. What I learned as I was studying apologies is an apology does not shut down the conversation. It begins the conversation. Let me explain. Often, we've heard things in our counseling experience. We'll hear a spouse say something like, well, I just don't know how many times I have to apologize for it. Or they'll say, I apologize for that already, but we keep talking about it. Those are often things that we hear. And you may say to yourself, yeah, I think I've said that a few times, or yeah, I've heard my spouse say that a few times. The reason why we tend to say things like, hey, I apologize already, why are we still talking about this? Is because we think the apology should end the conversation. All right, I apologize about it, so now we can move on. But the truth is, an apology should begin the conversation. The apology is just the foundation. The apology is what lets us now know it is safe to talk about this. So that's something I want you to think about, because that may require you to retrain your brain and your mind. You know, it might be a paradigm shift, because often we do think an apology is the conclusion of a matter, when in reality, it should be the beginning. It now says, hey, this is a safe space. Let's talk about it together. Does that make sense? You guys can put in my classes at the college, I'll be like, nod your head if that makes sense. All right, so you guys just let me know if this is making sense, if it's flowing. So an apology also promotes growth. And remember our example at the beginning, how this is clogged. So the things that we want, okay, the things that we want from our spouse, it's not flowing as a result of possibly us not taking care of them. So let's remember the importance of an apology. All right, you guys. So it promotes growth. And I'm trying to think if I want to get into the how to apologize. I'm going to share one of the hows, and then I'm just going to wrap it up, okay? So another how to apologize is simply focusing on your actions. When I want to give a quality apology, I should focus on my actions by saying something like, I apologize for how I responded to you. I apologize for the mean thing that I said. Okay, I'm going to focus on what I did. I apologize for hanging up the phone on you. Okay, we're going to apologize for our actions. What we are not going to do is demean their emotions. I apologize because I didn't realize you're so sensitive about that. What? I apologize because, I didn't think you'd think that was such a big deal, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was such a big deal to you. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. Okay? All of these are apologies that are focused on the other person. It's focused on you are too sensitive or you have the problem. That's why I'm apologizing to you to make you feel better. An apology should be about me. What did I do? Taking ownership of what I did. I apologize that I did fill in the blank. Not I apologize that you're too sensitive. I apologize that you really took that to heart. I didn't know you would, really be hurt by that. No. All right, so our apologies don't have any buts in them. Our apologies also focus on our actions. And that will help start bridging the gap. Remember, we talked about earlier how we want all of these great things to flow from our hearts. We want our love. We want our respect. We want all of these things to flow. Remember, we don't want it to be clogged up. And what we're saying is an apology will help things begin to flow. So, a few things for you to think about. A few things to think about. Are you flowing? That's number one. Are you flowing? Meaning, do you find it easy to give love to your spouse? Do you find it easy to give whatever it is that they're requesting of you? Respect, support, care, concern. Do you find it easy to allow that to flow? I hope the answer is yes. If the answer is not yes, then I want you to do some analysis. Analyze. Why? Is it because something was said that hurt you? Is it because something was done that hurt you and it hasn't been resolved? All right, so think about it. And once you come up with your answer, I want you to create a nice time to talk to your spouse about it. And that's a whole thing in itself, how to create that space. Remember, that safe space so that you're able to be vulnerable with your spouse about things like this. So 1, we're checking, are you flowing? 2, check to see if your spouse is flowing. Alice, how do I do that? You observe. You ask questions. You can literally ask them, how are you feeling? How do you feel towards me? How do you think we are? Are we vulnerable with one another? Do you find it easy to be vulnerable with me? Ask questions. Ask specific questions. Don't ask the general, so how are you today? And expect them to say, well, you know what? Last week you really hurt me, and that's why I've been looking at you crazy, and that's why I don't want to sleep in the bed with you. That's usually not how it works. So ask a specific question. Are you still upset with me about the conversation we had last week? Now we might get somewhere. Did you feel that I apologized well to you? Are you okay with that? Do we need to talk about it some more? You guys, it's okay to talk about something that you already apologized for. Remember, an apology is the foundation. It opens the door for healthy conversation. So it's okay to bring it up again. Sometimes we're scared. We're like, I'm not mentioning that anymore because then we're going to get into an argument. Conversation is good. So we're checking to see if we are flowing. We're checking to see if our spouse is flowing, right? And something else I want you to think about And if you're a believer, then I encourage you to pray about it. If you're not a believer, then I encourage you to meditate on that. Meditate on, is there something I should apologize for? I'm going to give a little pause right there. Is there something that I should apologize for? And if there is, I want you to apologize. All right? That's your homework assignment. I want you to think about it, because often, just like this soap, we just keep using, and sometimes we know, ooh, I made a mistake there. But guess what? I used it again the next day, and it worked. So clearly I don't need to apologize for that, because I still got soap. We're good. Are you? Are you good? Probably not. So let's think about it. Is there something I need to apologize for? And if there is, I want you to be the big, brave person, and I want you to apologize for it. And remember, no buts, and focus on what you did, not their feelings. Focus on what you did to cause them pain. And then I want you to just watch how when we get into the habit of apologizing, how it opens up vulnerability. It increases and deepens intimacy and helps promote good conversation. Yes, that is apologies, you guys. Those are some of the keys to unlocking a healthy relationship. Because I, just like you, want my marriage to thrive. I don't want it to survive. God knows I don't want that. I don't want to be a couple who, when people ask me about marriage, I'm like, it is what it is. No, I want to be an individual, and I'm proud that I can be an individual who says I am happily married. Does happily married mean my marriage is perfect? No. Check out my page, because I talked about imperfections. We're all imperfect. So no, my marriage is not perfect, but I am happy. I am happy in my marriage, and I'm proud to say it, and I want you all to be proud to say that too. On that note, intimacy is a big deal in marriages. We are busy. I know you are, and I'm happy that you took some time to join me. We are busy. So if you want some assistance with a date night, an indoor date night, I want you to DM me. Send me a message on Instagram, and I'm going to send you a free resource that you can use to plan a perfect date night. Because you guys, what I want is, I desire to be that friend. I desire to be that safe place that you can come to and use and get resources. So I've got free resources on my website, alwaysstayconnected.org. You can get free resources there, listen to interviews, listen to podcasts that I've been interviewed on. Visit the website, check out media, listen to some of those things. YouTube, I've got some videos there. The Official Love Journal is the channel. I have a lesson on becoming a better listener. They're very quick, very quick. Check those out. Begin to implement them. So I have free resources. A lot of you already have this. The Love Journal. This is not one of the free resources, but I love it so much. I call it Date Night in a Book. You go through this in a night, and it is going to help with communication. It is going to help with vulnerability. The Love Journal. And then if you're saying to yourself, Alice, we need more help than that. If you're like, I'm so happy that you have those books and you've got something I can listen to, but we need hands-on assistance, send me a direct message. Slide into my DMs, all right? And let's talk. We can set up a free meet and greet where my husband and I will meet with you and your spouse. If you're about to get married, we'll meet with you and your fiance, and we can discuss how can we help you. Why? Because we are trying to thrive. If you all watch Darius Daniels and some of his podcasts and listen to some of his sermons, he talks about thriving, and I love it. I want my marriage to thrive. I want to give my marriage the advantage of knowledge and actually using that knowledge. And I don't just want that for me. I want that for you too. I want you to have the advantage. So let's take advantage of this knowledge. Take advantage of Stay Connected. AlwaysStayConnected.org. Use the resource. Use the love journal. All right, contact me. I can help. And that's all I have today, you guys. So I want you to remember, we don't want to be clogged up. We want to flow. We want our love, our support to flow. If it's not flowing, perhaps there's an apology that needs to take place. All right? So think about that. Reflect on those questions. Is there something you should apologize for? Are you flowing? Is your spouse being vulnerable with you? Are you being vulnerable with them? Ponder some of those things and let's move forward together. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you, Mel, for joining me. You guys, I plan on doing this monthly. So we will be back. Portia, it's so good to see you, girl. I miss you. I miss you, Portia. Oh my gosh. But you guys, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And until next time, we'll unlock some more secrets next month. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Vanessa. I see you, Drew. What up, Tammy? What up, yo? Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to shut it all down, all right? Bye, guys.